Puzzle versus Sniper. We are back here at the GSL Up and Down matches. It's going to be a good one, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. Sniper looked really well. He played well against Gumio. Now he's up against Puzzle. Puzzle, of course, being defeated in the WCS Korea by Curious. He's now up against another Zerg player.
And here are our current results. Obviously, Ace being at the bottom of the list with his 0-2. The only player to have played 2 matches already, though, so that could change very soon if Gumio loses, for example, up next. And Sniper versus Puzzle, one of them will pull ahead with a 2-0 lead in the group.
Exactly. The map is Metropolis. And Metropolis is a map where we have seen the Immortal push being started. I know that is exactly what they are going to do once again today. Or at least if Puzzle is using the strategy. And Puzzle has to play 2 games back-to-back. He has to play Gumio next on the same map. Both games are going to be played on Metropolis. And here we have our 2 players.
Here they have them. And Sniper looking a little bit pensive here. He's got his mouth covered by his hand. Puzzle just looks like he's ready to go. Yeah, if Puzzle were a superhero or like a character with powers, would he be for good or evil?
Puzzle?
Yeah.
Definitely a good one.
I don't know, man. I'm looking at him like I think he could be a good character that becomes evil.
Nah, he's not evil enough. I don't think so.
You don't think so? I'm not sure. I want to know your opinion on this.
Well, guys, the game starts. It's Puzzle against Sniper. Metropolis is the map. The GSL Up and Downs Group B.
I think he's saying the pot's not full. You know, like you need to add more water or something like that. I'm not quite sure.
Well, to the left side of the map, we have our Protoss player for the Slayers team. And his ideas.
Slayers Puzzle.
It's actually unfortunate that someone tweeted at us what they are actually saying, and right now that I know, I can't unhear it.
I don't even remember what they tweeted at me, actually.
The shots go off.
Shots go off. Okay.
Yeah, but the wolf thing that I said earlier made much more sense to me, but right now I can't even remember what I said. Well, to the right side we have Puzzle's opponent. We have our Zerg in the blue with a 1-0 in the group already, 1 against Gumio. His ideas.
MVP Sniper.
Let's see if he can really be true to his name. MVP Sniper starting in the white jersey today.
I just took a sip of Hot 6, actually. I noticed his jersey has a Hot 6 on it as well. This tournament's sponsored by Hot 6, by the way. Shoutouts to sponsor. Now Puzzle is not pulling a seed, not doing anything weird here, just putting his pile on the low ground, not going to be hiding his forge. And he's letting the world know that he's forge fast expanding.
And we don't see a 6 pull by Sniper, so it's not going to be this weird game that we had between Curious and Puzzle.
Yeah.
Which was really crazy. And it was kind of insane on Tal'Darim Altai. I was like, whoa, what's going on here?
Yeah, that was quite crazy, in fact.
Right now we have the pull with the normal timing, standard timing for our Zerg going into a gasless expand. No surprises here, whereas Puzzle, on the other hand, will start things off with the Nexus first. Sending the probe now already to the lower ground. There it is. Nexus being built at the first building, and we can expect the forge any second.
There it is. It clicks on it, it's like somehow a cybernetic square. I'm like, Puzzle, how did you do that?
That would be amazing without
like,
the gateway.
That's not even useful without gas Puzzle.
That would be quite the trick.
Yeah. Well, he is going to go gate before cannon, of course, with this build. Because you just kind of have to. And Puzzle is likely going to hit one of these time attacks on this map with Immortals that everybody's doing right now. He could try to do something else like a sentry drop, which is quite possible and popular on this map because of the way that close air positions work, but we're not at close air positions, so the Immortal push by ground is much more likely.
Yeah, he has a couple of strategies at his disposal right now that he can use, of course. We've seen a few Protoss players also trying to transition into a third base, which is always a little bit of a risk because Zerg players are just so strong in the mid game that it's hard to hold this third, especially on a map like Metropolis, where it's really hard to control not only the third base entrance, but also make sure that your initial wall off at the natural is still safe.
Late scout here for Puzzle, and he wants to see that third base, but nice micro by Sniper actually denies him. He doesn't see. One thing I want to note about this map is that as a Zerg, it's annoying to scout because there's no pedestal for the Overlord. The Overlord that is at the natural cannot hide and see the Forge, so you have to use Lings to check for that Forge. You can see the Overlord's exposed right now, and as soon as the Stalker comes out, he's not going to be able to hang out anymore. If the +1 is started before the Stalker is out, then yeah, you can see it, but you want to get that Overlord away, make sure it doesn't die. And he's actually just going to show the +1 right to the Overlord. But the Overlord still isn't not going to be able to hang around and see composition, see what sort of units are coming out, so he is going to have to rely a little bit on his Lings for scouting at the front.
And the Lings already spotted that there is currently a +1 attack upgrade being researched at the Forge. So he knows that there is some kind of gateway action going on from Puzzle, but he does not know what exactly is happening. He has another Overlord though at the top right of the main base, and that one will be able to fly in and scout the tech as soon as Puzzle starts it. The timings here of course really important. Sniper's just now finishing up his third base. He's trying to get additional queens into the picture. No gas for him just yet, relying on the queens here in order to defend. And of course, roughly in a minute, he will start with his roaches and the evolution chamber. And we currently see the transition for Puzzle. He's going straight for the robotics, and we will most likely see the robotics immortal timing that we talked about earlier.
Yeah, this is quite common on this map. You can take a third with it. It's a little bit tougher to take your third on this map with Immortals than it is, for example, on Ohana, on Tomb Valley. So Sniper trying to get all the information he can, and he does actually see this robotics, which is, you know, really unfortunate for Puzzle because he was able to keep the Overlord to the left side away, but now his tech is known, and Sniper will have the time to prepare for potential aggression.
There are a couple of strategies they can use in the Zerg play in order to prepare against the Immortal push. One thing that has been done in the past is a very fast speederless timing because you want to have a lot of air units take down the sentries, which is always a little bit risky because if you don't hit it perfectly, you're basically gonna die, and usually the Immortal push hits you a little bit too fast to actually be prepared for it. Run-bys are probably the best thing that you can do. Go for run-bys, go for flanks, try to delay the push, try to force fields, and of course therefore depleting the sentry energy. You can go for drop strategy, which a couple of TSL Zergs will try to pull off, but a lot of Protoss players are really confident at defending against it. And one other thing is, of course, the transition into the infestation pit. You want to have infestors, then you can chain fungal the sentries, and as soon as the sentries are gone and the Immortals don't have units that shield them, then you can really try to completely crush your opponent with a Ling and Roach composition.
Yeah, and the flank is really important with this. It's critical to have that. And we see a very quick lair coming out for Sniper.
And a lot of gateways for Puzzle.
Yeah, he definitely wants to come into the attack. Now going up to, in total, 6-7 gateways. And he's going to hit this 1-1 timing. This is the Twilight Council-less attack. No blink, no observer. So Burrow can be one way to sort of help against this as well.
Yep.
Or actually, I mean, you can make an observer, but usually you don't because you want to get the
Warp
extra
Prism
immortals
as well.
Yep.
So you want to have the Warp Prism, the composition not only rely on forward pylons, but the Warp Prism to warp in additional units.
Yeah.
And this is also one angle that you can use as a Zerg. If you have enough queens, you send a few queens into the actual fight and start to picking at the Warp Prism. So if the Protoss player is not careful, he might lose his chance of reinforcing his army.
And he is getting 2 extra queens. He's going to have 5 in total when this attack hits. The Stalker in the middle of the map will hold the Watchtower for a few more seconds till Sniper finishes his Link speed, which is exactly what Sniper is gearing up to here. Oh, the Sentry's coming to the rescue. He's still going to lose it, though. Oh, and botches the Force Field. That's 3 wasted Force Fields on just a few Lings.
Exactly.
That is exactly what Sniper wants. Gets a Stalker and wastes the Force Fields.
That's what we talked about earlier. Flanks, run by, forcing out the force fields, trying to put your opponent in an awkward position, buying yourself time to spread your creep, get your units. And here's the run by attempt. Moving in, and there's nothing! There is nothing in position. Oh wow, this is horrible. He has to turn around, he can't even trade here.
Oh, and he's just losing so much in the main base. He had the Warp and Zealots there. He's not all of his gateways on the right side unpowered. 4 gates.
4 gates unpowered. He has to wait for the pylon. This is the worst case scenario for Puzzle. He defends and then he decides to go. But right now, this gives Sniper, of course, so much time to reinforce. There are a lot of warp in rounds missing for Puzzle.
More probes even in the main base. The worker count now down to 43 in total. Actually, he only killed 2.
But he delayed his opponent.
The most important thing is, yeah, he delayed him and he killed the power for the gateways. So I thought he killed more probes on that, though. A little bit surprising, but he was focusing on other things. Now he's trying to slow him down again, bait out even more force fields. He's got 2 groups of units now. The first one, a group of Lings with just a few roaches to support. 12 more roaches about to pop. And if Sniper actually gets the flank that he needs, I think he can hold this no problem. Look at the supply, 160 to 106.
Yeah, Puzzle has a scary army, but Sniper now had a lot of time. Is he able to break this, though? Here comes the Protoss player, trying to get into this perfect position where he can use the force fields on the ramps. He has a scary army. He's rebuilding his forge. We have now 26 additional Zerglings being built. Forge is done, and he's trying to take down the rocks and get a different angle at the third base, which would be so helpful against him.
Yeah, the Lings are going to want to come from the backside here. He wants to sandwich this Protoss army in between the ramp, but he does not do it. He's actually just going to fight straight up here. The force fields go down, but the roaches have already close distance. The units to the left side now come in. Only roaches, no Lings. He wants to use that range because he knows the force fields will be on the ramp.
He will most likely lose the third, but now the sentries are starting to run out of energy. A few of them still on full, but the rest already empty.
And some of them dying to the spine crawler here.
Just really unfortunate.
Great control by Sniper, though. Great patience as well. And if he actually kills this entire army, Puzzle is going to be in a big trouble, but the force fields here are actually so good. Nothing can fight this army.
He just has to fall back and reinforce and wait for his opponent to run out of energy. If he crushes this army, he's still in the good position, even though he lost his third, and now he's just waiting. He's waiting and he knows there are not this many force fields left, but another round of warp-ins hits for Puzzle.
Yeah, he needs those force fields to make this work, and here we go. He needs them again. He drops 2 prematurely, and this is exactly what Sniper wants, but he's starting to lose some Overlords here. He's almost supply blocked, but I mean, he's almost supply blocked at 180 supply.
And here he moves in again, trying to bait out the force fields. Another one being placed down. Always just trying very patiently to snipe a Stalker to enforce another force field. But the sentries are nearly out of energy. He warps in additional ones. But here comes once again Sniper, picking off at the army of Puzzle.
Yeah, losing a few roaches here, but his production is decent, even though he's stuck on 2 bases. And he really does need to eventually go in for the attack, and I think he's going to do it now. He brings the units to the side. The drones coming to fight as well. The force fields once more good for Puzzle. He's really struggling to close the gap here.
Really decent force fields, and Sniper backs off once more. A lot of resources already lost for the MVP Zerg player, and Puzzle in this position is slowly but steadily forcing Sniper back. Here comes the Zerg, committing once again, and now he's moving in.
Yeah, there's so many Immortals in here still, though. He doesn't target them right away, now starts target as his roaches get close enough, but great micro by Puzzle. This is some of the best micro I have ever seen in my commentating career. I have never seen a Zerg buy so much time and get into a flank even and still not able to crush his army. He remakes so many sentries and he limits his Stalker count as a result, but the force fields are so much more important. I am impressed by Puzzle actually still trying to make this work.
Great force fields for Puzzle indeed, and then the Immortals, they were able to come through here. 20 kills in one of the Immortals. Here we have the Roaches now trying desperately to defend the natural, and of course Puzzle at the same time, but now has already 43 against 44 Harvesters. He's looking at a pretty scary army still, and his upgrades are decent. He has actually nearly a supply advantage when it comes down to the army supply. He is 102 against 93. With the next round of warp-ins, he will have closed the gap, and his composition is just so much stronger.
He's forcing his way up the ramp. He's going to use the force fields from the back. He wants to, but there's too many units at the top. I think he's wasted so much DPS moving through, and actually the force fields do not block the roaches from the back, and now his sentries begin to fall.
He reinforced the wall with the force fields at the ramp and kills the roaches on top. Is now dropping in supply, but the drones have been pulled, and Sniper never transitioned, never an infestation pit, no fungals available to him, only roaches. Is he able to break through here?
It's going to be close, man.
It's going to be really close.
And the Stalker's now being chased back. It looks like the drones are going to help out quite significantly here, but the Warp Prism continues to warp in. He's got another Immortal on the way at home, but it looks like Sniper will finally push this back.
But the drones that have been killed are, of course, really significant here. Only 34 drones left for Sniper. Yes, he killed the army. He has a supply advantage right now, but the economy is so much better for Puzzle at this point. The third base is denied to the Protoss player, as Sniper has an Overlord position at the bottom left, but this game is definitely not over.
Yeah, you know, I actually found it a little bit strange Puzzle did not just kind of camp at the third and try to pick off roaches carefully, because his opponent did not make that infestation pit, which he didn't know, but because he didn't do that, he could have just hung out there for almost forever.
He actually knew. He has an observer in his opponent's base, so he could have spotted.
You're right. It came in now. He had it with his army, but yeah, he could have sent that in earlier. And knowing there's no infestation pit is a little bit surprising that he continued the attack up the ramp, because he could have himself started to take a third base or transition at home while keeping the pressure on the getting out when it mattered. Now the Infestation Pit is on the way, but Puzzle has really started to close that gap in supply with the extra economy he has.
Exactly. He is still ahead in the Harvest account, and with saturating both bases, he's in a decent spot. Is now at 86 to 88 overall supply, and the Immortal count is getting better and better for Puzzle, and then he can go for a second wave of attack.
Oh!
Nah, I'm not gonna die. He's escaping with the War Prism.
Creep spread really good for Sniper, regardless of the situation.
We saw this against Gumiho already. He really came through with his creep spread. And this is against a Protoss player, and so many Zerg players actually slack off when they are against Protoss and when it comes down to the creep spread, because they say like, well, he has an Observer early on anyway, so he will just take down all the tumors. But it's really important, and that's what I like about Sniper's play here.
Yeah, I really like it as well. The Link's coming for a counterattack, but all those cannons are still in place. Plus, he's got enough sentries to take this Nexus, but now the Roaches are here. This is potentially the problem, but I don't know if I like the idea to try to attack here. There's just so many cannons, and he cannot afford to lose this army right now. If he gets trapped with Force Fields and loses this without Infestor support, he is going to be really sad about it. And I think this is a mistake. He cannot go down that ramp.
No, he cannot attack here. He needs to wait. Infestors are going to be important for him right now. He looks like he desperately wants to attack and wants to just leave his stem on this map, but right now he can't do a lot. And Puzzle is in a position where he cannot just build his third, and that's exactly what he does. Cancels it again because he was wrong, not well positioned.
Just one hex too much to the right. Lose
Really
100 minerals. Yeah, that kind of mistake is always an
in this situation, it's really tough.
Yeah, you got to make sure that you're on top of so many different things to make the Nexus perfectly is actually, I mean, when you're doing 100 other things at once, not easy.
And Puzzle is now ahead in army supply, and he has 4 Immortals, which is a lot. He's trying to chase down these Roaches, actually kills all of them. The rest escape to the top right, but now Puzzle ahead in overall supply as well. He can push out here.
Yeah, and great map awareness, you know, having that vision of the rocks. He knew the Roaches were attacking those. Small little Warp Prism harass here. He actually gets out with 4 Stalkers, but gets fungled.
Exactly, gets fungled, and this Warp Prism is going to die. Another fungal might be necessary though.
Oh my god. He can't get away.
Yeah, there it is.
Immediately remakes the Warp Prism though, so he wants to always have that available to him on the map. And still no robotic support bay transition for Puzzle either, so that's something he definitely is going to want against these Infestors. The Immortal count now up to 5 though.
He's pushing out.
He canceled the Nexus. This is actually just going to be his attack.
Yeah, the problem for him is, of course, that his opponent now has the fungals ready, and he's getting additional infestors. This is something that Sniper did not have at the first push, but the army supply is now better for Puzzle, and he has good upgrades here. There we go, the attack starts. Can he go back, though? He doesn't have Borrow, he doesn't have Borrowed Movement, and he needs to get rid of those infestors.
Yeah, or the Immortals.
The Sentries, sorry.
The Sentries, he needs to use the Sentries to get rid of the Infestors to get rid of the Sentries so he can fight the Immortals. Because the Immortals are doing the damage to the back.
This army is so scary.
It's so scary, man. Look at all the Immortals.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never seen that many Immortals together before.
He needs to go for the
that
chain
was a great fungal, and he needs to do it again, but he's low on energy since he used so many fungals earlier. Now he's going to commit. And a great fungal gets away, only taking 1 shot on a Roach. But still, Puzzle continues. His upgrades, like you said, are very good right now.
He needs more fungals, more infestors to make this happen. This is not going to be easy, even though he took the lead in the overall supply once again, moving down the ramp here. He needs another fungal, and there it is. Now moves in with the Lynx and with the Roaches. Now he wants to make it happen. The infested terrorists have been dropped as well. Another fungal is going in, and now Puzzle finds himself on an army that is low on hit points, but he is still on the same army supply as Sniper, but Sniper can reinforce much faster.
Lings are so cost efficient in a situation like this. Great force fields again for Puzzle, sliding them in here. But the last of the Immortals begin to fall to infested Terrans. And you know, army supply is one thing, but when there are infested Terrans on the map, that is basically free supply. And Puzzle is held. He has no third base now, no transition, no robotic support bay. He may have to GG.
What a back and forth game that we see here, and the infestors are so important. This is what we talked about in the early stages. GG. Game is over. Sniper takes a significant win in this group. Puzzle being on 1-1 right now. Sniper on 2-0. And a very well-played game by Sniper. Puzzle's caution and it's just his patience when he took down the third base. Made sure that his army was... When he lost his army, he traded very cost efficiently, but as soon as the infestors were out, Sniper just in a good position. These fungals were perfect.
Yeah.
And Puzzle just clumping up his entire army here.
And I think that going for the attack was a cool idea, but once the Infestors were out, I think holding the third base and getting robotic support by tech could have been just as equally good, if not better. I was a little bit shocked that he decided to commit to that attack, in fact.
I actually don't quite understand why Puzzle was just hacking his equipment. He has to play again now. He's up against Gumiho next. I don't know if he has to change the booth.
Probably so, I would expect.
No, apparently he didn't hack his gear. At least Stella just walked in right now, and now they're talking about the next game. So Puzzle has to play the third game, and now he's up against Gumiho. There he is setting up his stuff again. He's like, what?
Yeah, I think everyone's a little bit confused about the order because of the Typhoon. Typhoon comes in and blows everything away and changes everything, man. Actually, it's just because of Thor's aim, but Typhoon is also what might confuse people about the schedule later on this week. One of the craziest up and down series we've had so far, by far. I said far twice.
That doesn't matter. Don't worry about it, it's fine. I'm looking at this group right now and trying to determine how important this match is if one of the players will already be out of the group if he loses here, but that's not going to be the case.
Yeah, Puzzle's at 1-1. If he does lose here, it will likely not be in his hands, the win, but it's kind of impossible to look in the future and say whether he's going to win or lose here anyways.
Things are going to become really serious after we had our second break today.
Yeah. That's when things get real.
2 more games. We have Puzzle versus Gumiho, and then Ace versus Sniper, and then basically every single map already counts, but then it decides if you are in the group or if you lose.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes, we have a situation like yesterday with Mana, where he took a lead in the group, and then all he had to do was watch Bomber win in order to get out. When a player falls 0-3 like that, like we saw Jokti do yesterday, then that type of situation usually arises in a 5-player group. So that sort of thing could happen again, obviously, if Ace loses his third match.
Ace currently looking at 2 losses, which is really unfortunate for him. And Ace is up against Sniper next. This is, of course, something that is probably not too... Well, I wouldn't be confident going into a match against Sniper after watching the games that we currently saw Sniper play against Puzzle and against Gumiho. 2 of the toughest opponents in the group, and he won both matches, so now being up against Ace. The map is going to be later on Cloud Kingdom, which is exactly the same map that Ace played against Boom Boom Prime in the last up and down matches, where he played this amazing style with the Warp Prisms, like 10 Warp Prisms over the course of the game.
Something like that.
Crazy.
I think we'll see him probably go for the late game if that map arises and the Zerg player doesn't attack him early.
We're good to go.
Yeah, I think we finally are. Puzzle versus Gumiho. The map is loading right now.
Yep. Puzzle just jumped into the lobby, and here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Puzzle against Gumiho. Protoss against Terran. The map is Metropolis.